Picture this. It is a quiet Wednesday morning. You are sitting at your kitchen table with your coffee. You open your laptop to check your bank account, just like you do every single month, to make sure your Social Security deposit came through. And it is not there. You blink, you refresh the page, still nothing. You check the calendar. The deposit should have arrived 2 days ago. You call your bank. They tell you the money never came. There was no transfer from Social Security at all. So you pick up the phone and dial 1-800-772-1213. You wait 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then, right when you think someone is finally going to answer, the call drops. You try again. The automated system tells you the estimated wait time is over an hour. So you grab your keys, you drive to your local Social Security field office, you walk inside. The waiting room is packed, every chair is taken, people are standing along the walls. The woman at the front desk looks up at you and says, "The earliest available appointment is 5 weeks from now." 5 weeks. You drive home, you sit back down at that kitchen table, and you wonder how a system you paid into for 40 years, a system that was supposed to be there for you in retirement, has become this hard to reach. Here is what I need you to know. That is not a hypothetical. That is not an extreme example. That is the reality that real seniors across this country are facing right now in 2026. And if you do not understand what is happening and what your rights are, you could find yourself in that exact situation, confused, overwhelmed, and at serious financial risk. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you are going to understand everything, and you are going to know exactly what to do. I am Edward. I am a senior policy analyst and retirement finance expert, and this channel, Deed to Deduction, exists for one purpose: to make sure that you understand the rules affecting your Social Security, your Medicare, and your retirement income before those rules blindside you. Because the truth is, these rules are not written to be easy to understand. The deadlines are short, the forms are buried, and the people most affected by every change, seniors living on fixed incomes who have worked their entire lives, are almost always the last ones to find out. Not today. Not on this channel. In this video, I am going to walk you through exactly what is happening at the Social Security Administration in 2026. The workforce cuts, the office closures, the service delays, the overpayment clawback rules, the real story behind the COLA increase, and the long-term concern about the trust fund. And then I am going to give you a clear, practical action plan. 3 steps you can take starting today to protect yourself. Stay until the end. Because there is one mistake that seniors all across this country are making right now in response to these changes. It is a completely understandable mistake, but it is costing people hundreds of dollars a month. And I am going to tell you exactly what it is and how to avoid it. Let me start with a story. I want to tell you about Dorothy. Dorothy is 68 years old. She lives outside of Cleveland, Ohio. She spent 35 years as a school librarian. She retired with a small pension, some modest savings, and her Social Security benefit. A benefit she had earned through decades of honest, consistent work. When Dorothy turned 66 and reached her full retirement age, she applied for Social Security online. Everything went smoothly, payments started arriving. She set up direct deposit. Life felt stable and predictable. Then in the spring of 2025, Dorothy picked up a part-time tutoring job. Just a few hours a week, she enjoyed it. And because she had already reached full retirement age, where the earnings test no longer applies, she did not think it would affect her Social Security at all. She was mostly right, but here is where things went wrong. The additional income shifted her into a slightly different tax bracket, and as a result of how her overall benefit calculation was reviewed, SSA determined that a portion of her prior payments had been issued at an incorrect rate. In February of 2026, a letter arrived. The Social Security Administration said Dorothy had been overpaid by more than $3,000, accumulated over more than a year of payments. And the letter said that starting next month, SSA would begin recovering that overpayment by withholding 50% of her monthly benefit. Dorothy's monthly check was about $1,900. 50% of that is $950. That meant her next deposit and every deposit after it would be less than $1,000 a month until the debt was fully repaid. Dorothy panicked. She called the 800 number. She was on hold for over 90 minutes before the line dropped. She drove to her local field office. She was told the earliest appointment was 6 weeks out. She went home. She searched online. She could not find a clear answer. She was scared. She was overwhelmed. And so she did what thousands of seniors in her situation do every single month. She paid the full $3,000 right out of her savings account because she thought it was the only way to make it stop. And that is the part that breaks my heart. Because Dorothy had rights, real, legally protected rights that SSA is required to honor. She could have filed Form SSA 632BK, a waiver request, arguing that repaying the overpayment caused financial hardship. There is no deadline on that form. And if filed within 30 days, SSA must pause all collection while reviewing her case. She could have filed Form SSA 634 to request a lower monthly withholding rate. Instead of 50%, she might have paid back 10 or 15%, a manageable amount over a longer period. She could have filed Form SSA 561, a formal appeal, within 60 days, challenging whether the overpayment amount itself was accurate. 3 forms, 3 ways to protect herself. She knew about none of them. Dorothy's mistake was not the overpayment itself. Her mistake was not knowing her rights before the letter arrived. And that is the exact mistake I am going to make sure you never make. Let me now give you the complete picture. Everything I'm about to share comes directly from SSA Gov, Medicare.gov, AARP, and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, all verified, all current as of April 2026. No speculation, no rumors, just the official facts in plain language. What Social Security is and who depends on it. The Social Security Act guarantees retirement, survivor, disability, and SSI benefits to eligible Americans. More than 75 million people currently receive Social Security benefits. More than 300 million Americans hold an active Social Security number. This is not a side program. This is the financial backbone of retirement for tens of millions of families. And when something changes inside this system, the effects are immediate and real. The 2026 COLA and what they are not telling you. In January 2026, a 2.8% cost of living adjustment took effect. The average retired worker benefit went from $2,015 per month to $2,071. That is an increase of about $56 a month. The maximum benefit for someone retiring at full retirement age rose to $4,152 per month. That sounds like good news. And in some ways it is. But here is the part of the story that is not making headlines. The standard Medicare Part B premium for 2026 is approximately $204.40 per month. In 2025, it was $185. That is an increase of nearly $20 a month. So let us do the math together. Your COLA added $56. Your Part B premium increase took back about $19.40 of that. Your real net gain, the actual additional money hitting your bank account, is closer to $36 a month. $36, not $56. And for some seniors, depending on their specific Medicare plan and income bracket, the net change was even smaller. Some saw their monthly deposit stay flat. A small number actually saw a slight decrease. If you looked at your January deposit and felt like the numbers did not add up, now you know why. And you deserve to know that from the beginning. What happened inside the SSA, the workforce cuts. Now let me explain what has been happening inside the Social Security Administration itself, because this is the root cause of everything seniors are experiencing right now. In late 2024 and throughout 2025, SSA announced plans to cut approximately 7,000 jobs, about 12.3% of its total workforce. The agency went from roughly 57,000 employees down toward a target of 50,000. 6 of SSA's 10 regional offices were permanently closed. According to Federal Office of Personnel Management data cited by AARP, SSA shed more than 6,000 employees over the course of 2025. Approximately 1,000 field office workers were pulled from in-person service and reassigned to answer calls on the national 800 number. So the people who used to sit across from you at a desk and walk you through your paperwork, 1,000 of them are now answering phones instead. That means fewer hands available at field offices. And even with the additional phone staff, call volume is still overwhelming the system. SSA's own performance dashboard, updated April 10th of 2026, reports that the national 800 number wait time in March 2026 was about 7 minutes with an 83% answer rate. That is genuinely better than March 2025, when waits averaged 20 minutes and only 41% of callers got through at all. But AARP's field reporting from April 2026 tells a more complicated story. Seniors waiting 2+ hours on hold before being disconnected. Offices with 50 or more people waiting ahead of them. Seniors being told there are no available appointment slots and to simply call back another day. And here is the specific problem with appointments. SSA will not schedule anything more than 40 days in advance. If all slots are full, which they frequently are, you cannot get on the calendar. You are told to try again later. As of August 2025, more than half of people trying to get a retirement or survivor benefit appointment were waiting longer than 4 weeks just to secure a date. More than half. Waiting over a month just to get on the schedule. The appointment system. What changed? Effective January 6, 2025, SSA moved to an appointment-based model for virtually all in-person field office services. Before this change, you could walk in and be helped, sometimes after a wait, but without a scheduled appointment. That is no longer the standard. Nearly all in-person services now require a pre-scheduled appointment. However, and this matters, SSA has officially stated they will not turn away vulnerable seniors, military personnel, or those with terminal illness even without an appointment. If your situation is genuinely urgent, you have the right to walk in and explain that. Know this. Use it if you need it. The overpayment rules, where the most damage is happening. I want to spend real time here, because this is the area where seniors are losing the most money right now, and it is entirely preventable with the right information. Here is what changed and when. Effective March 27th, 2025, SSA raised the default overpayment withholding rate to 100% of your monthly benefit. That meant SSA could legally take your entire check, every dollar, until the overpayment was recovered. Then, effective April 25, 2025, SSA revised this to 50% for regular Social Security, OASDI, overpayments. SSI overpayments remained at 10%. 50% is better than 100%. But let me put it in real numbers. The average benefit is $2,071 a month. 50% withholding means SSA takes $1,035 of your check every single month until the debt is gone. For a senior whose entire life runs on that monthly deposit, rent, groceries, medications, utilities, this is not just inconvenient. It is a crisis. And here is what makes it worse. When that letter arrives, most seniors panic. They either pay the full amount immediately, draining savings they cannot afford to lose, or they freeze up and do nothing, which causes automatic withholding to begin. Both of those responses are mistakes because there are options, and those options are your legal rights. Right 1. The overpayment waiver. If you believe the overpayment was not your fault, or if repaying it would cause you genuine financial hardship, you can file Form SSA 632BK. This is the request for waiver of overpayment recovery. There is no deadline to file this form. None. You can file it months from now. But here's the critical point. If you file it within 30 days of receiving the overpayment notice, SSA is legally required to suspend all collection while they review your request. Your benefit continues at its full amount during that review period. If your overpayment is $1,000 or less, you can request the waiver by phone or in person at your local office. For larger amounts, you submit the written form. It asks about your income, your expenses, your assets, and the circumstances of the overpayment. SSA uses this to determine whether a full or partial waiver is appropriate. Right 2. Request a lower recovery rate. If your waiver is denied, or if you simply cannot absorb a 50% reduction in your monthly benefit, you can file Form SSA 634. This is the request for change in overpayment recovery rate. This form lets you explain your financial situation and ask SSA to reduce the monthly withholding to something manageable. Instead of losing half your check every month, you might arrange to repay at 10 or 15% over a longer period. That is a completely legitimate request, and SSA must consider it. Right 3. File a formal appeal. If you believe the overpayment amount itself is wrong, if SSA's numbers do not add up, or if you do not believe an overpayment actually occurred, you can file Form SSA 561 within 60 days of receiving the notice. This is the request for reconsideration. Filing this form triggers a formal review of SSA's determination, and while a valid appeal is pending, SSA must pause collection. You are not required to pay while they reconsider. I want to say this directly. Filing an appeal is not an accusation. It is not confrontational. It is simply asking SSA to look again at the facts with fresh eyes and complete documentation. It is your right. Use it without hesitation if you have any doubt at all about the accuracy of the overpayment. What happens if you do nothing? If you receive an overpayment notice and take no action within 30 days, SSA will automatically begin withholding 50% of your next benefit payment. No further warning, no additional letter. It simply happens. If you are no longer receiving benefits and the debt remains unpaid, SSA can refer it to the U.S. Treasury. That means they can offset your federal tax refund, intercept certain state payments, or in some cases, pursue wage garnishment. These consequences are serious. They are also entirely avoidable if you respond promptly and use the protections available to you. What you can do online, right now. One of the most important things I can tell you today is how much you can accomplish through SSA's online portal without calling, without driving anywhere, without waiting. At ssa.gov My Account, you can apply for retirement, disability, and Medicare benefits. You can check claim status. You can request a replacement Social Security card. You can update your address and direct deposit. You can download your benefit verification letter and your SSA 1099 tax form. You can review your complete lifetime earnings record. And you can upload documents supporting a pending application. All of this is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. SSA reported a 12+% increase in online transactions in the first part of fiscal year 2026. Their own data shows 96.7% of all customer contacts in 2026 are happening online or by phone. The system works. Use it. The trust fund, what you need to know for the long term. I will close the facts section with something every Social Security recipient deserves to understand. You now have the full picture. Let me give you the 3 steps to protect yourself, starting today. Form SSA 561, Formal Appeal. If you believe the overpayment amount is wrong, file this within 60 days. Collection pauses while your appeal is reviewed. No payment required during that time. All 3 forms are free at ssa.gov forms. No attorney needed. These are your rights. And one more thing. You can appoint someone, a family member, a friend, anyone you trust, to handle SSA matters on your behalf using Form SSA 1696. If the phone system feels impossible to navigate or your health makes it difficult to manage these things alone, you do not have to do it by yourself. If you need free guidance on any SSA or Medicare issue, contact SHIP, the State Health Insurance Assistance Program. Visit shiphelp.org or call 1-800-MEDICARE, which is 1-800-633-4227. The counseling is completely free, no sales, just help. Step 3. Build your document system before you need it. The seniors who get through benefits problems fastest are almost always the ones who were organized before the problem arrived. So, build your system now. Keep a copy of every SSA letter and notice you receive. Everyone, keep the originals and make copies. Keep a log of every call you make to SSA, date, time, number called, how long you waited, who you spoke with, what they said, any confirmation number they gave you. Write it all down in a moment. Keep a copy of every form you submit. If you file a waiver, keep a copy. If you file an appeal, keep a copy. If you upload a document online, screenshot the confirmation. Know your payment schedule. SSA pays on a schedule based on your birthday. Know your payment dates. If money does not arrive when it should, you will catch it immediately rather than days later. For contacting SSA directly, the national number is 1-800-772-1213. TTY is 1-800-325-0778. Hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. local time. Call at 8 a.m. sharp to avoid the longest waits. Avoid Mondays. Ask for a callback option instead of staying on hold. SSA offers this. To find your field office, go to SSA Gov iLocator. To schedule an appointment, go to ssa.gov, manage benefits, make an appointment. Book as early as possible. Slots fill fast. And if you are in a genuinely urgent situation, do not let the appointment system stop you from walking in. SSA has stated officially they will not turn away vulnerable seniors or those facing urgent circumstances. That is your right. Exercise it if you need to. Before I let you go, I want to speak to you directly for just a moment. What is happening at Social Security right now is not your fault. You worked, you contributed, you did everything you were supposed to do, and you deserve a system that works for you the way it was promised. But the reality of 2026 is that SSA is operating with thousands fewer employees than it had 2 years ago. Regional offices are permanently closed. Appointment slots are weeks out. Overpayment notices are reaching seniors who never saw them coming. And a trust fund that 75 million Americans depend on is facing a long-term challenge that Congress must address before 2034. None of that is permanent. None of it is without solutions. But it is the reality right now. And the people best protected from it are the ones who are informed, who know their rights, and who have a plan before the problem arrives. That is what today was about. You now know what is happening inside SSA. You know about the workforce cuts. You know the real story behind the COLA. You know your rights when an overpayment notice lands in your mailbox. You know the 3 forms that protect you. You know where to get free help. And you know the 3 steps to take starting today. But I want to make sure you keep getting this kind of information because things are moving fast in 2026 and new changes are happening all the time. Here is the honest truth about YouTube. The algorithm controls what you see, notifications do not always come through. A major rule change can happen, one that directly affects your Social Security check or your Medicare, and you might not see a video about it for weeks, or you might never see it at all. That is a real risk, and I have built something to protect you from it. Click the link in the description right now and join the Global Senior Alerts official WhatsApp channel. When you join, you will be able to immediately download a free senior benefits protection guide covering Social Security, Medicare, Medigap, overpayment rights, pension rules, banking protections for seniors, and more, all in plain, clear language. You will also receive real-time alerts sent directly to your phone the moment a major rule change happens that affects your benefits, not a week later, right when it matters, so you have time to act. No spam, no sales, no confusion, just the information you need when you need it. Because here is what I have learned after years of working in this space. The difference between a senior who loses money and a senior who protects their benefits is almost never about intelligence or luck. It is almost always about information. Getting the right information at the right time and knowing what to do with it. That is what I am here for. That is what this channel is built around. Share this video with someone you love who is on Social Security, a parent, a grandparent, a neighbor, a friend. Anyone who receives these benefits deserves to know what is in this video before something unexpected lands in their mailbox. You now know. Help them know too. I am Edward. Thank you for watching. Thank you for trusting this channel with your time. Subscribe if you have not already, turn on notifications, and I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourself. You have earned that.